Hi and welcome back to another episode of Reality Decoded. I am Vanderhorst, here to bring you some more relatively important information. This episode is about meditation, the benefits of meditation, and the things that you will actually end up losing when you practice meditation over a prolonged period of time. And also, some food for thought as to why you actually should be practicing some form of meditation in your daily life, even if you just have 5 minutes. But before we get started here, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and stay posted for new episodes, and leave a comment about what you liked in the video. Let's get started. There is an ocean of consciousness that exists within all of us. There is even a connection between consciousness, creativity, and the brain. If you wake up every day with a golf ball-sized awareness, and you try to do things from that level of awareness, you are only ever going to be able to have a perception from that level of awareness. But if you were able to, per se, expand that awareness to a softball, basketball, an even larger sized consciousness, you would wake up every day with more of an understanding, more perception, more awareness. And thus, inside of all of us exists a deep ocean of consciousness that we all can connect to anytime that we want to. And it's through our consciousness and meditation that we reach the full potential of all human beings, which is called enlightenment. Consciousness is actually at the source of all mind, all matter, and all thought. And the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi teaches a technique that he came up with in the 1950s called transcendental meditation, where it teaches you to go all the way in, to dive all the way in. This technique is actually a very simple, easy, and effortless technique to do that is supremely profound in giving us deeper levels of consciousness and thought and being able to be in a moment. And what's best of all is all human beings have this capability. Like I said, enlightenment is the full potential of all human beings. It's amazing. The ultimate goal of this technique is going to allow you, when you are diving within, experiencing these subtler levels of consciousness, you will ultimately be able to transcend and experience this enlightenment, this true being in the moment of now. It's at the base of all mind and all matter. And even now, modern science is saying that everything, every particle emerges from this field. And this pure consciousness is actually called by modern physics the unified field. And this field actually has qualities like bliss, intelligence, it denotes creativity, universal love, energy, and peace. And it's not the intellectual understanding of this field, it's the actual experiencing that makes everything just click. You are one. You are more one than anyone. There's only one of you. I've counted, okay? And that's important because this technique brings us to that sense that we are all one. We are all connected all the time. And it is from this connected feeling of oneness that we ascertain these feelings of bliss, these qualities of harmony, and agreeance with yourself and acceptance of everything that is and was and will be and will be. And from this understanding, you actually kind of seem to understand that everything that's ever happened to you was supposed to happen to you for a reason, because it led you to this point of magnanimity, this grand realization that everything is all right and everything's going to be all right. Which is kind of why it's denoted as to transcend. You don't ever solve your problems, you just outgrow them. So through the transcendental meditation technique, you learn to dive all the way in. And as you transcend downwards through your consciousness to reach this pure ocean, you unfold it, you enliven it, you give it life, and then eventually you will actually come to see these different layers of yourself manifest in your real life, and you will have to come up with solutions in order to get through them and learn the lessons that are within them to be able to transcend to the next level. It is a transcending downwards and a transcending upwards. And over a prolonged period of time, the final product of this process is called enlightenment, which takes many, many, many years to attain. But it's worth it, and it's better late than never, because it's not an impossibility. I think I said earlier that, enlightenment is actually the full potential of all human beings. There are actually some side effects to this, though, one of them being that your negativity will start to recede. You will have less and less self-doubt. You will have less and less anxiety. You won't hesitate at all when you have to make snap judgments, like executive judgments out in the real world. You'll feel a sense of self and a surety, and like I said, you'll just be able to make any decision that you will need to. I remember when I started meditating, I was riddled with anxieties and fears and everything of what if. I was a very young kid, not knowing about the future, being in a strange place, about a military school, and meditation through this technique actually brought me the sense of oneness that I needed to reach the full potential that I was supposed to hit early on in life, and to be able to carry on later on into my adult life. I actually see the signs of it now, and am very, very happy to pass along what I have been taught, and to give credit to all of my teachers for this, because that's really where all of this information comes from, and it's available to all of us. All we have to do is just look for it. Now, these negative things that everybody is riddled with, like anger, depression, sorrow, anxiety, they are like a vice grip. They are like a poison to a filmmaker, to a creator of content. They'll keep you in a place to where you can't have any ascending thoughts. And the process of transcendental meditation allows you to sit in these emotional states of being. And you practice a technique, one that I use personally, called the still mind technique. And what that is you sit and you visualize like you are sitting on the side of a river, and there's a tree next to you, and there is a river flowing in front of you from left to right. Every time you have a thought, the thought will appear as a leaf on the river. And the goal is to acknowledge the thought, let it pass, and then just drift into the nothingness. And then you do this over and over and over again, stilling your mind. That's the goal. And ultimately what this will allow you to do is whenever you have a negative thought come up, it will allow you to not react to your thoughts violently. You'll be able to actually respond to them intellectually in a way that both serves you and serves the person or thing or whatever you're trying to deal with. This kind of goes back to that golf ball size awareness. You have to be opportunistic in a way, and this allows you to take off the blinders and to see what's all around you in a way that was probably previously unseen. I know personally, whenever I'm very angry at something, it is just like a red flag across my face, and I cannot talk to anybody. I can't do anything. And so the transcendental meditation technique brings you back to the breath. It has you focus on every time you have an up or a down, a peak or a trough, you bring yourself to the breath. The breath is the moment of now. The breath controls the body. The mind controls the breath. The spirit receives the breath. Okay? And over a prolonged period of time of enough breath received, your physical body will become like your spiritual body. So if you are attached to these negative feelings all the time, you are going to result in having a negative looking physical body, or at least one that is less than appealing. And the equal could be said for a person who maintains positive thoughts. Their skin would be clearer, their hair would be stronger, more protein in their system. They would just have a more vibrant, more healthy body due to a healthier breath controlling the body and a stronger mind controlling the breath. This is all connected. It really is, and it is absolutely fascinating to see this in live action as well. Now, normally when you're practicing transcendental meditation, the technique itself calls for a sort of silently spoken in your mind mantra. But I'm here to tell you a secret. There is no mantra. Well, let me rephrase. It's not that there isn't a mantra. It's that the mantra can be anything that you put towards it. The mantra doesn't mean anything. You could sit there and repeat mustard seed over in your head over and over and over again. Mustard seed, mustard seed. It is just a point of focus to bring yourself back to that one central point. So the mantra here is not that important. It is the technique that is important. You are training your brain, creating new mental habits of positivity, and to replace the negativity that normally comes into your life, so that with which, when it comes to you, you are already equipped with a tool bag to handle it in like the best way possible, actually. And what's really amazing about this that I have figured out through experience is when you have done this enough times, you can actually set yourself up for sequential right decisions, right place, right times. And it's almost like it seems like magic happens around you, because it kind of is. Magic, by definition, is the ability of the sorcerer or the wizard or whoever the magic practitioner to affect reality around them with their willpower. This is essentially what that's like. We are affecting things on the vibratory level and through intention and our consciousness when we reach out and we affect things. And we, by putting our observation into things, are doing part of our highest good, giving things our attention, our love. And that includes people. You know, don't ever forget your connections with people. That's really important. Another side effect that I've figured out that transcendental meditation has helped with me personally is my memory. I'd suffered a major head injury when I was in high school for wrestling. And since then, I dealt with major short-term memory issues. It was as if a thought would get passed from hand to hand in my head, and it would just like dissolve. It would never get stored in my long-term memory bank. And then I guess through the transcendental meditation technique and sound healing and solfeggio frequencies, I've been able to at least repair some of the damage somehow, because I do feel a drastic difference in my memory. I am able to hold a conversation. My ADHD isn't that bad. There's just a lot of improvements in my daily life that I have noticed. My ability to talk to people has gotten better. My ability to retain information when I read a book has gotten better. I've read 8 books in the last week. Not sure how I did that. I have never read that fast, but I've always been a good reader. But what I am trying to say is it seems that this meditation, or meditation in general, has affected all areas of my life for the positive, as a matter of fact. I actually am able to undertake larger and larger projects and not feel so overwhelmed with them as well. That's from the anxiety just dissolving. So there are many, many benefits to this, and I strongly implore everyone to pick up and at least research a form of meditation to find out which one works for you. When you pray, according to the Christian religion, when you pray, that is a form of meditation. You are going within yourself. When you pray, you're talking to God, but when you meditate, you're going within yourself to talk to a higher version of yourself. That's only one step away from being able to talk to God. But being able to pray directly to creation source is the most valuable piece of information that we have ever known. It is within us. Okay, that's why the Bible says the kingdom of heaven is within us all. Jesus sits atop Mount Meru, okay, in the Lamb of God, which is our head, okay, Mount Meru is our spine. It's all on paper. The writing is on the wall. It's up to us as the individual whether we actually go and find out these things, okay? It's up to us whether we actually have the initiative and the drive and the persistence and determination as humans, okay? Because humans are persistence hunters. It's up to us whether we actually want to reach these ascended levels of consciousness, these higher levels of thinking. Because according to the Corpus Hermeticum, the mind only comes to that person which is right and good and pious and strives for the greater good of all mankind, not just themselves, okay? And we should take notes out of that. We should all strive to become our enlightened potential selves. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, a few of my friends are definitely enlightened, like seeing vibrations from the coffee pot, sort of Terrence McKenna style stuff. And I would like to see more of you with your stories commenting on my YouTube videos about your experiences with this as well. I love hearing about profound experiences, and I answer any and all questions that come into chat and everything. And I just want to take a moment to say I really appreciate everybody who has watched the series so far. You all have made this possible. Thank you. So as a quick recap for this episode, Transcendental Meditation is the act of going silent and diving all the way in, going past all of those negative feelings that you have and allowing yourself to embrace them and to be able to accept that part of you, because it is a part of you. You have to. And through this acceptance and harmony, you are going to be able to reach your apotheosis, your path to godhood. And by doing this over a prolonged period of time, the aspects of yourself that once were will not be. And you will be able to gauge your progress through all of this, because you will seemingly go through what I like to call level ups, and you just become unfuckwithable. So I put it on you to become unfuckwithable. Let's do this together. Y'all are awesome. Carl Jung said, Until you make the shadow part of yourself conscious, the subconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. When are you going to take control of your fate? It is like 4 horses in front of you and the reins are just flapping all over the place. By doing meditation techniques like this, you are in effect taking the control of your life back and enacting your own true free will. So I really hope that everybody was able to pick up something through this episode. I really appreciate you. And if you liked it, leave me a comment below telling me what you liked. I'd love to make more videos about this. Thanks, guys.